Liverpool, March 1963, 2:17 p.m. A boy sat on a corner near the Cavern Club. Maybe 14, hard to tell. He had a harmonica, not expensive, beat up, the kind you buy secondhand, the kind that's been played by a dozen people before you, each one leaving their breath in it, their music, their desperation. He was playing blues, real blues, the kind from America, from Chicago, from places Liverpool kids only knew through records, through stories, through the music that made its way across the ocean and changed everything. His harmonica case lay open. Inside, a few coins, maybe sixpence. An hour of playing, not enough for anything, not enough to matter. But he kept playing anyway, because what else was he going to do? 50 feet away, walking out of a rehearsal, were three young men: John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, the Beatles. Not famous yet, not world-changing yet, just three kids from Liverpool trying to make it, trying to be something, trying to prove that music mattered. And in exactly 2 minutes, everything was about to change. John heard it first, a sound, familiar but different. Blues harmonica, being played well, being played honestly, being played by someone who understood what blues meant. Not just the notes, the feeling, the pain, the survival. John stopped walking. Paul and George kept going for a few steps, then noticed John wasn't moving. Turned back. "You hear that?" John asked. They listened. Harmonica, coming from the corner. "Let's check it out," John said. They walked toward the sound, found the boy, sitting, playing, eyes closed, lost in the music, lost in the only place he felt real, the only place he mattered. The boy didn't notice them approaching, didn't see three musicians watching him, studying him, recognizing something in his playing, something real, something they'd been trying to capture in their own music. Authenticity, truth, the thing that makes music matter instead of just being noise. The boy finished the song, opened his eyes, saw three young men standing there, watching. He got nervous, ready to be told to move, to leave, to stop making noise. But they didn't say that. John crouched down, eye level. "That was good," John said. "Really good." The boy looked suspicious. "Thanks. Where'd you learn to play like that?" "Taught myself. Listened to records. Copied what I heard." Paul crouched down too. "What records?" "Sonny Boy Williamson, Little Walter, whoever I could find." George nodded. "Good choices. That's real blues, not the watered-down stuff." The boy relaxed slightly. These guys knew music, knew blues, weren't just random people, were musicians. You could tell by the way they talked, by what they recognized. "What's your name?" John asked. "Billy. Billy Walsh." "How old are you, Billy?" 14. "How long you been playing?" 2 years, since my dad died. He left me his harmonica, only thing he had worth keeping, so I learned. Seemed like the right thing to do. Honor him, keep his music alive. John and Paul exchanged a look, understanding. They'd both lost parents. Both knew what it meant to carry that loss, to try to fill the space with music. "Your dad played harmonica?" Paul asked. "Yeah, in pubs, weekends, never made much money, but he loved it. Said it was the only honest thing in his life, the only thing that couldn't lie." "Your dad was smart," John said. "He was." George sat down on the curb. "Why here? Why this corner?" Billy shrugged. "It's near the cavern. Musicians come by. Sometimes they stop. Sometimes they give advice. Sometimes they just listen. That's enough." "You play at the cavern?" Paul asked. "Nah, I'm too young. They won't let me in. Besides, I'm just a harmonica player. Nobody wants that. They want guitars, drums, singers, not some kid with a harmonica." John smiled. "We want that. We've been looking for a harmonica player." Billy's eyes went wide. "Seriously?" "Yeah, we're the Beatles. We play at the Cavern. We do rock and roll. But we've been wanting to add blues, real blues, and you play real blues." "I'm not good enough for a band." "You're better than you think," Paul added. "We heard you from 50 feet away, through traffic noise, through everything, and it stopped us, made us come over. That's talent. That's the kind of playing that cuts through." Billy looked down. "I don't know. I've never played with anyone. Just by myself, on corners, in my room. I wouldn't know what to do with a band. John stood up. Come to our rehearsal. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., Cavern Club. Just play what you played today. We'll build around you. See what happens. No pressure. Just musicians trying things. Seeing what works. What if I mess up? Then you mess up. We all mess up. That's how you learn. That's how music gets better. George added. And honestly, you probably won't mess up. You're too good. You just don't know it yet. Billy felt something crack open. Because nobody had told him he was good. Nobody had believed in him. Nobody had invited him to be part of something. Okay, Billy said quietly. I'll come. Good, John said. Bring your harmonica. Bring your dad's music. Bring whatever made you play like that. We need that. They started to walk away. Then John turned back. Billy, one more thing. Don't change how you play. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to impress us. Just play honest. Play real. That's what we heard. That's what we need. Okay? Billy nodded. Couldn't speak. Too overwhelmed. The next day, Billy showed up at the Cavern, nervous, scared, convinced they'd forgotten, convinced it had been a joke, convinced he'd misunderstood. But they were there, waiting, instruments set up. Billy, Paul called out, you made it. Yeah. Good, let's play. They started with a blues number. John on guitar, Paul on bass, George on lead, and Billy on harmonica. At first, Billy was tentative, careful, trying not to mess up, trying to fit in. But then John stopped. Billy, stop trying so hard. Just play like you played yesterday, on the corner, when nobody was watching. Play like that. Billy took a breath, closed his eyes, thought about his dad, about the harmonica, about why he played, not for approval, for memory, for keeping something alive. He played, and this time it was different, raw, honest, real. The Beatles stopped playing, just listened, because what Billy was doing was exactly what they'd been searching for. Authenticity, soul, the thing that makes music transcend being just sound and becomes feeling. When Billy finished, the room was silent. Then John started clapping, slow, deliberate. That, John said, that's it. That's what we need. Paul was grinning. That was incredible. Where did that come from? I just stopped trying, Billy said, started feeling instead. Exactly, George said. That's the secret. Feeling beats trying, every time. They rehearsed for 3 hours, Billy playing harmonica on several songs, adding depth, adding soul, adding something the Beatles had been missing without knowing it. At the end, John pulled Billy aside. You're playing with us tonight, at the Cavern, 8 p.m. show. Billy's eyes went wide. Tonight? I'm not ready. You're ready. You were ready yesterday on that corner. You're definitely ready now. But what if people don't like it? Some won't, some will. That's music. But the people who get it will really get it, and those are the only people who matter. That night, Billy Walsh played his first show, the Cavern Club, packed, people everywhere. He was terrified, shaking, convinced he'd mess up, convinced he didn't belong. But when the music started, something changed. He forgot the crowd, forgot the fear, just played, felt, remembered his dad, honored the music. The crowd went silent, not bored silent, awed silent, because they were hearing something they'd never heard before. Blues harmonica, in a Liverpool rock and roll club, being played by a 14-year-old kid, being played with soul. When the song ended, the club erupted. Applause, cheering, people on their feet. Billy looked at John, overwhelmed. John smiled. Told you. Billy Walsh played with the Beatles for 6 months. Not as a permanent member, as a guest, a collaborator, someone who added something unique, something real. He played on several recordings they made in early 1963, before they got famous, before everything exploded. Those recordings still exist, collector's items now. The Beatles with Billy Walsh on harmonica. Raw, honest, blues-infused rock and roll that showed what they could have become if they'd gone a different direction. But in August 1963, everything changed. The Beatles got their record deal, got famous, got pulled into a world of touring, recording, promotion, becoming what the world wanted instead of what they were. Billy couldn't keep up, couldn't fit into that world, didn't want to. He was 14. He had school. He had a life that didn't involve being famous, didn't involve losing himself. John understood. You're making the right choice. Fame isn't what it looks like. It's going to change us. We're going to lose something. You're choosing to keep what you have. That's smart. I'm going to miss playing with you, Billy said. We're going to miss you too. But you taught us something. You reminded us why we started, why music mattered. That's not going to change, even when everything else does. They played one last show together. August 15th, 1963. The Cavern. Billy on harmonica, the Beatles backing him. Not the other way around. That night, Billy was the star. They made sure of it. When the show ended, Paul gave Billy something. An envelope. "What's this?" Billy asked. "Payment. For the 6 months. For the recordings. For the music." Billy opened it. £300. More money than he'd ever seen. "I can't take this." "Yes, you can. You earned it. You made our music better. That's worth paying for." Billy took the money, used it to help his mom, to buy a better harmonica, to honor his dad's memory, to prove that playing on corners mattered, that stopping for people mattered, that music could change lives. 30 years later, Billy Walsh was asked about his time with the Beatles. In an interview for a music documentary, people ask if I regret it, not staying with them, not becoming famous. And the answer is, no. I got what I needed. I got 6 months of playing music with people who respected me, who saw me, who believed in me. That changed my life more than fame ever could. Do you still play harmonica? Every day. I teach now, kids mostly, kids who need music, who need something to hold on to. And I tell them about the Beatles, about John crouching down on a street corner, about being seen when you feel invisible, about the fact that music isn't about being perfect, it's about being honest. Do you still have that harmonica? The one your dad left you? Billy smiled, pulled it out of his pocket. Never go anywhere without it. It reminds me of my dad, of the Beatles, of the day I learned that playing on corners matters, that someone might stop, someone might hear you, someone might change your life. Billy Walsh never became famous, but he became exactly what his dad would have wanted. A musician, a teacher, someone who keeps the music alive, who passes it on, who honors what came before. He still plays that corner sometimes, near the Cavern, not for money, for memory, for the chance that some kid might walk by, might stop, might hear something that changes them. And sometimes they do stop. In 2010, a 15-year-old girl stopped, listened to Billy play, asked him where he learned. Billy told her the story, about his dad, about the Beatles, about being 14 and scared and being invited in. That girl's name was Emma. She started taking lessons from Billy, learned harmonica, learned blues, learned that music isn't about fame, it's about connection, about honoring what came before, about being honest. Emma plays professionally now, jazz clubs mostly. She credits Billy Walsh with everything. He taught me that being heard matters more than being famous, that playing on corners matters, that someone might stop, might see you, might change your life. Billy's recordings with the Beatles became legendary among collectors, not because they were commercially successful, because they showed what could have been, a different path, a bluesier Beatles, raw, honest, before the world changed them. Music historians study those recordings. The Beatles' lost blues period. Some argue it was their best work, their most authentic, before fame polished the edges, before they became what everyone expected, when they were just musicians trying things, feeling things, being honest. John Lennon mentioned Billy once in a 1975 interview. Billy Walsh, kid we played with in early '63, best harmonica player I ever heard, chose his life over our fame. Smart kid, smarter than us. He kept something we lost, kept his soul, his honesty, his connection to why music mattered. I respect that. Wish I'd done the same. That quote hangs in Billy's classroom now, framed, next to his dad's harmonica. A reminder that choosing small over big isn't failure. Sometimes it's wisdom. Sometimes it's survival. Sometimes it's keeping what matters instead of chasing what doesn't. March 1963, the Beatles heard a boy playing harmonica on a street corner, and instead of walking past, they stopped. They listened. They invited him in. They made him part of something. And in doing so, They honored what music was supposed to be: collaborative, honest, human. Billy Walsh played with the Beatles for 6 months, then chose to walk away, to keep his life, to stay honest, to honor his dad's memory by not selling out, by not becoming something he wasn't, by keeping the music pure. That's everything. Look, if this story moved you, if you've ever played music on corners, if you've ever wondered if anyone was listening, do me a favor, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to know that being seen matters, that being heard matters. We've completed 85 Beatles stories, 85 reminders that the Beatles weren't just famous musicians. They were people who stopped, who listened, who saw talent in unexpected places, who invited people in instead of walking past. Drop a comment and let me know. Do you play music? Have you played on street corners? Has someone ever stopped for you? Turn those notifications on because these stories matter. Remember, music isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest, about feeling, about honoring what came before. And Billy Walsh proved that with a harmonica his dad left him, when the Beatles stopped to listen.